A little handheld intro for day 2. I did get a fair amount of garbage collected in the center. I tried to lift this bin, it didn't work. I did get some of the doors off, they're over there. And we are going to work on today getting the rest of the floor in here up, getting these doors off, getting this door off, and then working back down in here, getting this door off and this thing and that, and just like as much stuff collected as possible. We might also get started on taking some of the kitchen cabinets down, but that's the plan for today. So enjoy the time lapse. So we're working on demolishing this closet here. One of the fun things is that the side bits that they put on are 2 1x4s instead of 2 2x4s. They also have every angle bracket in the world all over the place. Like there's literally 7 just in this one little spot here, which is gonna make things kind of interesting because I don't want to completely destroy the drywall while I'm taking them out. Along with just way too many angle brackets holding this in. Half of them do not actually go into a stud, and when they put backing in, they didn't understand that the smooth shaft on the screw has to be less long than the backing is thick. So this screw here is still just spinning. That's a very expensive pine board that's been completely ruined by how much paint is on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 angle brackets. So we have gotten the flooring up off of the bedroom and the underlayment. We have our pile of stuff over here that is supposed to get picked up by the selling realtor's junk guy. And we are testing this air conditioner to see if it functions. It's really loud, and that makes me suspect that there's something wrong with the compressor, but we're gonna let it run a little bit and see if it shuts itself off again. Next is we get to go down the hall and start dealing with this stuff, the rest of this frame, and then get this door off and start dealing with this room. Okay, so we are hoping that this goofy middle wall between the closet can come out. I'll have to ask the engineer when we're dealing with this closet over here that I want to get rid of, and also this whole ugly yellow wall. So if I can get rid of that, that'll help a bunch. And I don't know if you can tell, but this front area here where you just step in is actually pretty dark. So if the ceiling joists run this way, I can pull another line off of that light and bring it up over to here, because that's already on this switch. And if they run the other way, I can pull a line off of this light and run it over to here, and then maybe move this switch to out over here. Either way, I should be able to do something about how dark it is, just because this is my front door and that's really dark, and I don't want it to be really dark. We got a little bit more floor to get up, and then we can get into this room. It's just strange how bad of a paint job they did. Like, it looks like they were trying to go for some sort of goofy sponge texture, but they might have just been so bad at it too. Back to work. With the terrible paint job that the people did in this place, like there are solid drips of paint on the wall right here. I don't know if the GoPro's getting that, but it's gonna be tough for me to decide. This room, not so important because it's just like a little tiny storage room off the front door, but it's kind of like that all the way through the apartment. And it's gonna be tough for me to say, okay, well, do I do actually a good job and spend like 3 days, 4 days sanding? Or do I do a quick sand to knock down just the highest points and then call it good enough and paint over that? On one hand, I definitely want to do a good job of things, and on the other hand, this doesn't deserve, even at the best times, my best efforts. So lessons in scale and scope for Moose today. So we got most of the stuff up here. And you can see where no one ever cared about doing a good paint job. They just all rolled it straight to the ceiling. And you might notice that there's no leftover material in here at all from all the stuff getting out. And that's because I still have to come along and scrape this floor off. So I need this to be totally cleared out. Gotta get these 2x4s off, that's gonna cause some damage. But once we got the floor off, and also this door still needs to come off, then we are done with the doors and floors demolition. Except for the bathroom, I gotta get that door off too. We're almost done with the doors and floors demolition. Like, there's no reason for it to be this color and this badly painted. This is something I've never really bothered with in the past, but there is so much paint on here. It's actually creating enough extra work in me in repairing drywall that I want to take a minute and avoid that. And if it was the sort of thing where it was just like pulling up a little bit, that'd be fine because I'm going to be using bigger baseboard anyway, but it's taking like chunks of drywall paper off with it. So with this little storage room, we can see here that the door does not properly close, and it's got this kind of ugly trim on it here. Now the reason the door doesn't close properly is because someone moved the hinge from up here to down here, and they didn't mortise out the hinge spot. So this is just sitting inside the door, and it's pushed the top of the door that way, which means that it can't close properly. You can see at the bottom, they were able to get it to be in the proper mortise spot. I think it's going to show that this door is just too damaged, that I would spend more time trying to get the trim off and then sand it all down and then paint it again, and it would just be more hassle than it's worth. So I think I'll just take this off and we will put in a new door later. Because also, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it has a very distinct wood grain texture on it, and none of the other doors are going to have that, so yeah, this has to come off. Can someone put on my to-do list to bring the first aid kit to the job site, please? It's an effort. Well, I have another blade, so let's try, see if a new blade does better. That fell out? I think the new blade actually made it harder, because it's scraping up all of it instead of splitting it. Okay. That lino is done. As you can see here, the floor in the little storage area is up and removed, and I'm just leaving it there because my bin that has the capability of taking bags is filled with laminate flooring. So we are gonna move over here and start having a poke at these upper cabinets. Here's hoping I don't get cabinets falling on my head. As far as are the cabinets salvageable, I don't know if you can really tell, but they're like heavily greased and grossed, and trying to get them all clean to the point where they would be new looking cabinets would take more time than just building new cabinets. A couple of chairs. So to give you an idea of how greasy they are, like it's actually sticky. bath and bed dryer, kitchen splits, stove, kitchen and living room. Kitchen and living room is probably going to be the same one running the interwebs right now. Not the way I necessarily want to do this. And that's why I don't have any way to test if these are live, but it's not labeled, so I couldn't be sure because I don't have any testers. The troubling part about that is none of the breakers popped. I do not have a tester for it. The tester got stolen with the rest of my electrical purse. If you guys want, I can put up a stream goal to help get that stuff replaced. Okay, so that's off. Thank you very much, both of you. When I start getting stuff installed, remind me if you want to get your names on anything. I'm happy to do that. Peter Gabriel? New sledgehammer would be nice. So we can flip the switches to see that this doesn't have power. I'm gonna go and turn the breaker on that I think is controlling this, and we'll see if that is what it is, and then we can relabel it more properly. Okay, so we know the hood fan at least is on the outlet switch, the outlet breaker. What's wrong with the view? What, you can see all of where I'm working. What's wrong with it? Now we are assuming that these lights are on the same circuit as this, which is on the same circuit as those plugs. Oh, we just have a random illegal junction here. So we got a couple of cabinets out. We had a little bit of an adventure with this under cabinet lighting. So we're trying to be a little bit more carefully with this under cabinet lighting. You see it comes out of the wall there, and then we have an illegal junction there, and then it goes back into the wall over there. So that's fun. Okay, so I thought this came out of the wall here, but what it really does is just sneaks up in behind the cabinet there and goes to this light. So the source for this power is tucked away hidden somewhere, and I have no idea which switch controls it. Okay, excellent timing, whoever is sending me a text message right when I start recording. So we'll wait for the Imperial alarm to end. Finally figured out what's going on with these under cabinet lighting. They're on an always on circuit like an outlet, and they require these switches to be functional, which means that if I want to make them be actual under cabinet lighting, I have to go into the wall once it's, once everything's out and off, and install myself a switch somewhere in there. Otherwise, I basically have to trace it back to the panel and tear it out, because you can't leave it like this for under cabinet lighting anymore. I'm kind of not thrilled that this is how the electrician dealt with getting the stove outlet in. So there's got to be a junction for this. It's just what it sounds like. It's a purse that carries my electrical tools. And I take enjoyment out of calling it a purse because it makes the very manly aspect of the trade slightly less manly. And I like to subvert expectations. No matter how I dress or what I call my accessories, I will always be a paragon of manliness, so it doesn't really matter to me. Well, here's the main panel, and we got 3 cables that are not attached to anything. Looks like I got a bit of drywall repair to do, and that patch continues this way, so we'll probably get this off in one go. Yeah, called it. Illegal junction. So I was been saying on the Twitch stream, I had good words for the talking and stuff, that I would find an illegal junction back in here. And lo and behold, there it be. So that's a thing I'll get to solve. Yay! So one of the most difficult things I've ever tried to do during demolition is remove electrical from there without linesmen or side cutters or any other pliers, just like pure raw grip strength. That was tough, but I have it sorted out now. I should be able to turn the circuit back on because the fridge just plugs into here. We might have to do a wee bit of electrical in this wall because I don't have a dedicated circuit for the microwave. The microwave was actually sharing the outlet with the fridge, so we're gonna have to make sure that the fridge actually has a dedicated outlet at some point. But the panel is just right over there, so getting something from there through the wall over to there will be pretty straightforward.